What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com.
Here are my DFS picks for NFL Week 12 Thanksgiving games.
These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button
And hit that bell icon
so you don't miss our new videos.
Okay guys, in this video, I'm going to give you my top DFS picks for the 3-game Thursday Thanksgiving slate.
And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made.
Oh, and good news guys, make sure to stay tuned to the very end of this video because we removed the box that was popping up and blocking the lineup. So now you can see a full lineup using these picks that we made in this video if you stay to the very end. Okay guys, NFL Week 12. Let's take a look at this 3-game Thanksgiving slate. So at the quarterback position, my top DFS pick is Dak Prescott from the Dallas Cowboys playing the Las Vegas Raiders, who have the 9th worst defense overall and they're middle of the pack defending opposing quarterbacks. Dak Prescott has averaged 21.9 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 2.9 rush attempts per game. He's going to be about 28% owned, projected at 20.7 fantasy points here in Week 12, and he's $6,900 DraftKings salary and $1,300 more on FanDuel. Vegas thinks there's going to be 50.5 points scored in this game, with the Dallas Cowboys favored by 7. So Dak Prescott didn't have a good game last game, but he scored 26 and 20 fantasy points in the 2 games before that. He's got a pretty good matchup here versus the Las Vegas Raiders. And he's got Michael Gallup back, his full suite of offensive weapons. So I think he has a big bounce back game this week. So I like Dak Prescott here versus the Las Vegas Raiders. Okay, let's take a look at the running back position. My top DFS pick at the running back position is David Montgomery from the Chicago Bears playing the Detroit Lions, who have the 4th worst defense overall, and they give up the 2nd most fantasy points to opposing running backs. David Montgomery has averaged 13.9 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 16 rush attempts per game and 2 pass targets per game. He's been on the field for 100% of the snaps. He's going to be about 43% owned, projected at 16.3 fantasy points here in Week 12. And he's only $6,000 DraftKings salary. He's $1,500 more on FanDuel. So I love that DraftKings price. Vegas thinks there's going to be 41.5 points scored in this game, with the Chicago Bears favored by 3.5. So there's a lot to like with this pick. Fantastic matchup, potential running game script here on Thanksgiving, and a guy who scored 8, 10, and 26 fantasy points in his last 3 games off of 14, 13, and 23 rush attempts. Also got 1 and 2 pass targets the past 2 games. Not huge in the passing game, but he can get up to 20 plus rush attempts, and I think that might be the type of game it is here on Thanksgiving. So I like the price tag, and I think I mentioned he's going to be about 43% owned. So he is the highest ownership running back on the slate, but for good reason. So I like David Montgomery here versus the Detroit Lions.
Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching.
If you want to enter the drawing for $25 PayPal,
all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won.
And we'll send you $25 PayPal.
So it's that easy, and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video. So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you.
Okay, let's take a look at the wide receiver position. So my top DFS pick at the wide receiver position is Michael Gallup from the Dallas Cowboys playing the Las Vegas Raiders, who have the 9th worst defense overall. They've been pretty good against opposing wide receivers, and Michael Gallup has averaged 8.1 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 7.3 pass targets per game. He's going to be about 34% owned, on the field for 100% of the snaps, projected at 13.6 fantasy points here on Thanksgiving Day, and he's $5,900 DraftKings salary and $600 more on FanDuel. So I like that price on both sites. And we know Vegas thinks there's going to be 50.5 points scored in this game, with the Cowboys favored by 7. So Michael Gallup has got 9, 7, and 8 he scored 9, 7, and 8 fantasy points in the last 3 games off of 10, 5, and 7 pass targets. So he's getting plenty of volume. And I like this pick because he got 10 pass targets last game. So he's going to be about 34% owned. Looks like that is the second highest ownership on the slate, only next to Stephon Diggs, which is going to be around 40% owned. But I like the price tag on Michael Gallup. I like that he's getting a ton of pass targets. So I like Michael Gallup, and you could stack him up with Dak Prescott, save a little bit of salary here at this position. So I like Michael Gallup here versus the Las Vegas Raiders. Okay, moving on to the tight end position. So I could go ahead and say my top DFS pick is Darren Waller from the Las Vegas Raiders playing the Dallas Cowboys, who have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall, and they give up the 7th most fantasy points to opposing tight ends. So I do like Darren Waller. He is one of my top picks, but I want to give you guys a little something special here at the tight end position. I think, based on these ownership projections, Darren Waller is going to be the top owned tight end at around 39%. Dalton Schultz coming in around 28% ownership. But I think there's a gem in the mix here. I like TJ Hockenson from the Detroit Lions playing the Chicago Bears, who have the 11th worst defense overall. They've been pretty good versus opposing tight ends, but TJ Hockenson has averaged 11.8 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 7.2 pass targets per game.
Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all of our DFS tools for all sports. Our NBA tools are awesome. This is a great time to get in and try everything for 1 month. The tools are all about saving research time. You can see the last 3 games, the fantasy points per game, the targets they got per game, so you can see how involved they are in the offense, the rushes they got per game. Seeing all this stuff on one screen helps you save time and make better picks. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups.
He's on the field for 84% of the snaps. He's only going to be about 15% owned, projected at 11.6 fantasy points here on Thanksgiving Day. And he's only $5,200 DraftKings salary and $900 more on FanDuel. So we know Vegas thinks there's going to be 41.5 points scored in this game, with the Detroit Lions trailing by 3.5. So the reason that I like this pick is because outside of that donut that TJ Hockenson put up 2 games ago, he's done pretty well here, averaging 11.8 fantasy points per game on the season, getting 7.2 pass targets per game. He does normally get between 8 to 10 pass targets. His average was brought down quite a bit. He only got 1 pass target on that game that he scored 0 fantasy points. So that hurt his stat line. So I like this pick because his salary is pretty low here at only $5,200 DraftKings salary. And the biggest reason I like this pick is because of the low ownership. Only 15% ownership on a 3-game slate. This is a guy who's got 20 plus fantasy point upside. He could have a monster game here on Thanksgiving. It probably will turn into a passing game script for the Detroit Lions, who I do expect to be trailing the Chicago Bears. So pretty much because of the low price tag and the low ownership and a guy who's probably going to see 8 to 10 pass targets, I like TJ Hockenson here versus the Chicago Bears.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smiggity smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NFL slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again, and good luck.